Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another episode of Hearthstone. I am just trying to rush through it. Didn't even close the program because I started so late. Uh, Destroy 40 minions, we need to do 10 more of that. Deal 100 damage, we probably can get that done, and win 2 of any class. We can probably get that done, and hopefully, if I'm really lucky, we can finish the recording session in this episode, and then I'll just be short one episode, which is fine because I done goofed up and was recording something else instead of recording this when I should have been recording this. So Paladin and Hunter is what we're gonna do, just random picking. Two of my lowest ranked ones, Paladin and Hunter. 717 wins, 61 total wins in the arena, 295 total levels. Paladin and Hunter is what we were saying, right? Yep, Paladin and Hunter. That's what we're gonna do. Ranked runs, Paladin and Hunter. Paladin is the Murloc's deck. Hadn't thought of that, but okay, whatever. Still don't really have any cards for the Paladin deck, so it might as well be the Murloc's deck. Last time we got a pack from doing an arena run, and 4 out of 5 cards were redundant. I think the pack we got before, 5 out of 5 cards were redundant. So it's really feeling like we're just gonna get a big old pile of them.
Your soul shall be mine! I will fight with honor.
I'll keep all these cards. Just gonna keep them all. Whenever Murloc is summoned, gain +1 attack.
I fear icky.
So we see we're gonna do the noble sacrifice and the Murloc Tidewalker, Tide Caller. Come on, game, come on. I'm feeling the pressure. Feeling the pressure to get done quick. I've played a lot of video games today. More than I probably should always be working to just play more and more. To the point where I play 12 to 18 hours of video games a day. If it pays off, and that's still fun, that's fine.
So many
but it probably
possibilities.
would not be a smart idea to overexert myself that much. I was listening on the Giant Bombcast, which is one of the podcasts I listen to. Which, by the way, I've now put all the things that are video game related that I listen to as... Is this guy gonna disconnect?
Almost out of time.
I put subscribe channels that I'm actually subscribed to into my channel invisible so that people can see what I've been influenced by, and they're all channels that have way more subscribers than me, so that I'm kind of advertising people that don't need advertisement for me, which is I know, but I think this guy walked away or something.
Almost out of time.
Man, what a way to start an episode. But to get back to my story, I was listening to a Giant Bombcast, and they were talking about, they got asked the question of, when do you have time to play video games? And they were saying how it was that a lot of people were under the impression that it was just non-stop video games at the office, but in fact they were actually playing most of their games. Well, now he's saying something.
That
At least.
almost out of time.
Magic detected.
Get down!
So it seems like that's not right to me. That your job requires you to do a certain amount. One would hope that they are paid in their salary, if that is true. Because if you're getting paid in a salary, you're often expected to work, basically just be always on the clock, but in exchange, you get...
Soul shall suffer.
Well, so not only did we get a bad connection, we got a rage quit thing, feels like. But so close. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't have this done by the end of this episode. But it doesn't seem right that even if you're salaried, it's not right for a boss to expect you to work for considerable constant hours when you're not around. If people love their jobs and want to do that, I would like it if it was always the case that a boss would welcome people working off hours if they feel like it. But you know, you shouldn't even do that if you feel like it, because you're just making your coworkers hate you and look bad. And a lot of times bosses don't like that. They very specifically want you to only accomplish so much because they've scheduled it. They've had all kinds of crazy conversations behind your back about, we've scheduled it so he'll get this job done in this time. And if you come back way earlier and say, oh yeah, I'm done, then everything's in trouble. If you finish your work too quickly, they may not have any other work for you. They may be trying to stretch it out so that they can keep you employed. So there's all kinds of craziness that goes on with jobs. And so working from when you're not being paid to work is always a bad idea. And so it's kind of sad that they're playing video games off the clock. And so in the previous episode I was talking about, well, if people gave me games that were copyrighted and I wouldn't get permission to put the video online, maybe I could talk about them and play them. But you know, I would have to be just so rolling in YouTube ad revenue. I'd have to have so much income coming in that it was no longer a concern, which at the moment it is a very big concern about where getting ad revenue up. If I just had tons and tons of recordings already lined up and I was doing 5, 6, 7 series a day, every day, sure, I guess at that point, but that's not likely to happen, and I'd still be overexhausting myself. So yeah, it's kind of a silly thought to do a series, to talk about a game or play a game that I can't get on YouTube. And really, I don't even want to support games that are like that. I want to send a strict and stern message to video game companies that if you're going to not allow me to review your game and use the video elements to review the game, then I'm not going to buy your games, I'm not going to play your games, and I'm going to actively seek that you go out of business.
Powering up. Portals online.
That's my final offer, really. So, somewhat related to that, there have been 2 series that, when I tried to upload them, got content ID matches, which is not a copyright strike per se. It is a just they put something, music usually, but video sometimes too, into the YouTube Content ID system, which is not a legal system at all. It's just YouTube's agreement. And so they've said, but when you get a Content ID, that means that any commercials or ads that are shown are going to be shown, and you're not going to control whether they're not shown, and all the revenue from all that, those ads being shown, are going to 100% go to the person who claims Content ID. Which, a major problem with it is that
Hit it very hard.
there's just, you're shown zero documentation that the person who's claiming the Content ID is the person they claim they are, is the person that has ever been sought out or searched to, or researched to be the actual owner of this, or creator of this. So there's just rife of people lying. It's just straight up lying. It's people saying they own things that they don't. And so you can't trust any of it. No, regardless of what it says, you just can't trust it. And I certainly can't won't leave up videos that I spent my hard effort making that is just gonna benefit somebody else that I don't even know who that person is. If YouTube could just give me some evidence, show me that it's this person, because it never says it's the person I think it's the person. It says some other company that somehow thinks it owns the rights to something, and it never says like this game, which was made by Valve, is being Content ID'd. The owner is Valve. It says this game that you know is made by Valve is being claimed by some other gobbledygook that doesn't even make sense. It's like Coast_US or something. And I'm actually somewhat referencing an actual incident at the moment. And that's
I hunt alone.
just the major part of it. If it said Valve, then I clicked on it and it gave me the address, the name, any information, any real contact stuff. Wow, I got all three done all together. And we are already above the 255 we were going to try to get to, and we've gotten everything done. Everything's come up roses. So let's do 3 more games and wrap up the story, and then I'll be done with this recording session. If they could just prove that much to me, it wouldn't be so bad to say, okay, let's give the revenue to the creators of the game. Even though it was my hard work and this is my review of the game, and oh, by the way, legally, I have every right to be doing what I've done. But I'd have to go sue them.
You asked for it.
And spend millions of dollars suing them. So there's a big strong arm that goes on with it. I'd feel a little bit like that. If they could just say 50-50. If they could prove it was really them and say, we'll give you 50% of the ad revenue. At least that would seem somewhat fair. At least that's a compromise. But there's just like no compromise, no working with Content ID. It's either agree to it or dispute it. If you have written permission, which is what I seek out, you can dispute it. And that's as much as fighting back as I've figured out how to do so far. I don't know why I got back on the rant about YouTube's content ID. If I get copyright strikes instead of content IDs, things, so that's the whole channel down the drain. And if people try to fight disputes, maybe that will turn into a copyright strike, or maybe they'll take down the content ID thing and then turn around and try and make a copyright strike and dispute. Then I just have to dispute that, and it could be just the end of the channel in one fell swoop. It's just all such craziness. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about, since there's a couple of games that this has already happened with, is those games. And so, at the face of it, I would say these games gave me trouble, so I wouldn't particularly on the first statement say buy them at all. I mean, if they're gonna give me trouble, why should I be as nice as I have been with the other games? Why should I just say don't buy them, don't play them? But let's put that to the side. The first game I did was a flash game, a computer flash game, made by like 1 or 2 people, and it was called That's funny, I can't remember the name. No, yeah, okay, now I remember. It was called Trauma. Trauma was the name of the game. It starts off showing you like a car crash, and then you're inside this lady's head as she's recovering from the car crash, essentially. And you're thinking about your life and having dreams about your life. And so there's 4 dreams basically. This is a very simple game. It's just like pictures, and then you turn to the right and you see another picture. So it's not like a 3D rendered room world. It's like you go from one place to the other, and it kind of is more 3D rendered than it would seem.
Well played.
But yeah, there's very few different points you can stand at, and there are several actions you can do with your mouse to turn around, to look, to turn to the left, to walk to the left, look to the right, walk to the right. Just basic transition things, and then there's a couple special actions you can do that help you solve some puzzles. And so you find the endings to these dreams, and they have 1 original ending and then 3 separate endings in which you can extra endings. And so you find all those endings, and then you get a really good, really cool video cutscene. And at the end of doing those 4 dreams, which it only takes you probably maybe an hour and a half to play the whole game. But I liked the atmosphere of the game, I liked the music of the game, and guess what got content ID? The music of the game. So all throughout every single dream and level of the 4 levels, the music is getting played. I don't even know if there was an option to turn off the music in the game, but if I turned off the music in the game, you've taken away more than 50% of the game, because it's not heavy on gameplay, and it is not heavy on graphics. So, and I'm sure some of the videos at the end credits will may have been content ID'd. So I'd put up like 1 video, and there'd be 5, 6 content ID matches on. And so after, and I had recorded the entire series already. It was such a short game. Of course, you're gonna record the entire series. So I put them all up, and I tried to use Google's new system that would take the audio out of the music section. That does not work at all. It just doesn't work. It makes your what you say when you're speaking go quiet and then loud. And oh, by the way, it doesn't work because the content ID still comes back and says we found it again. So it's just ridiculousness. Oh. So throughout the whole game could not be put up, so I deleted all the videos. And it was never viewed by anyone whatsoever. And never will. So the next game, same result, and pretty much the same reason. Next game I did was Braid, which is a puzzle game that has a time rewind mechanic. Now what got me on this is that when you're rewinding the time, you're making the music go backwards. And I would have thought that moving around and changing the music would have been enough, that it would have never had enough of the music be played that it would match. But it seems like the content ID will match on even like a few seconds of music. And so same thing, content ID, tried to get rid of it, did not work, so just deleted it and nobody ever saw it. It's just two games. Braid is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. It wasn't a particularly good series anyways, because I got stuck at a point and had to cheat completely and go get a save file to the end. But it does have a very interesting story. It does have some interesting time mechanics that as a 2D platformer, you don't see a lot. You don't see the time mechanics much in any game. Rewinding time, slowing down time, time going faster when you walk to the left, going slower when you walk to the right, and stuff like that. That was a pretty new concept, I have to admit. And so I wanted to cover it because of its new gameplay concept. I wanted to cover it because it had an interesting story. It has a somewhat philosophical story, but also I think there's just a bunch of garbage in the story too, if I can be honest. That it is so full of so many elements that you could interpret what is basically gibberish being told to you as something deep and insightful when it really isn't. And more you really think about it, the realization does come about. This game isn't insightful. It's just throwing out some general concepts and trying to pretend like it's being insightful. But yeah, so Braid. Would I want you to go play Trauma? You can go play it on their website for free. If you type in Trauma and then maybe Trauma game on Google, you can go to their website, play it for free on in the Shockwave Flash. It's just a Shockwave Flash game. So maybe go check it out. But also remember, I have a grudge against them, against their musician claiming things that there's just a major problem in the fact that they claim videos when the song that they're claiming is nowhere near the length of the video. When a video is 20 minutes long and your song is 5 minutes long, well, obviously, unless you have 3 or 4 different songs matching there, obviously this is something more. Or if you have an hour-long episode and your song is 5 minutes in the middle, that's ridiculous. You think, oh, that is a match. it's just incidental. It has nothing to do with anything. Artists need to realize, I don't know when artists lost the thought that they want their art out there. I don't think artists really lost it. I think producers and people who funded artists so that they could rip them off and take advantage of them developed this thought that they want to control their art so much and always gain money for it and never try to just allow it to naturally flow into society's conscience. I mean, I am a firm believer that art belongs to all. And so if somebody was to go take one of my videos here and they were going to just do commentary over my commentary and respond to it, they have made a transformative piece of artwork. And I don't have any claim to say I deserve income from their commentary on my commentary. They've made something and it added to society's well of knowledge.
Made to fit.
And so I have no claim to that. I could possibly comment it, maybe flag it if it was just being downright rude or hateful. As I could flag it as not meeting YouTube's community standards, which it's supposed up to YouTube whether or not they want to try and enforce such ridiculous goals, because obviously they're never going to be very good at enforcing that. Yeah, so people who make games, they have every right to make profit from people buying the games and playing the games. I tell people to go buy and play the games, but they cross the line when they're saying that my legally allowed review of their game, the free advertisement, which is what it is, free advertisement of their game. No news is bad news. Even if I say the game isn't really that much fun, you're still going to have people who disagree with me see my review and go buy your game. So producers just need to get off that, and that really gets right into the heart of like Nintendo and their dumb thoughts about how overprotective and how important it is to own every second of every control every second of footage for their game. Man, I mean, if Nintendo just wasn't so crazy, I would do so many Nintendo games. If I could get them on a PC or record them some other way, and if they ever learn their lesson, there's gonna be potentially a lot of old Nintendo fans that do Nintendo games. But until then, I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot pole. Just would not touch them with a 10-foot pole.
Job's done.
Let's see. Maybe I can whip out the Kelsa Sword at the end of this. Now, do I expect to have any more series like Braid and Trauma? No, because I've learned my mistake from them and made sure they have already given written permission on their website in their terms of asset use, terms of use in general, and then I am legally in the right. Even though I was legally in the right before, I have yet again another legal asset that's even stronger to say, look right here, this has been publicly documented, they've given permission. That is the fact that they made the effort to say that they were going to, that they allow, sorry, the fact that Crow Team, the makers of the Talos Principle got back to me on Twitter and said, yes, you do have permission to do a Let's Play of this, and we support it fully. Pushed the Talos Principle way ahead of the list of games that I wanted to play. I mean, if you have a line of games that I just want to play but will never play, and then games I might play someday and can play because I have permission, and then at the front games that are brand new and specifically are going to make sure that they treat me right. That's what the Talos Principle, that's what Crow Team did. They put it right at the beginning, and I am upset with myself a little bit that I was not nicer, but I couldn't be. I have to be honest to myself and to my viewers. I'm a little upset with myself that I did not enjoy the game more, that I had crashes going on, didn't want those to be occurring. I had all kinds of trouble with that game that took it down a few pegs, even though I think it was a fine game. I really don't think it's a bad game or anything, it's just you have all these crashes, you have the puzzles were a little too easy. The story didn't really grab me as much as it seems to have grabbed a lot of other people, and I'm glad it did interest a lot of other people. It just didn't grab me. It pushed me into doing 2 more series afterwards that I haven't released and should be out pretty soon, if they're not out already, and you'll be able to tell what those series are. But let's see, how can I do this? Oh shoot. That was dumb. That was dumb. I should have done this.
Hunt alone.
Good thing that nothing I'm doing right now really matters. But yeah. If I had people on my Twitch, I would be doing friend requests right now. Let's do one more Murloc run and then end this episode since we're already done with everything. And we're not going to do another episode in this recording session because there's just no reason. It's late, and I've started way too late. Messed myself up on that. So let's finish this off, and we achieved everything. That's good.
Uther versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer, I will
Oni
fight with honor.
Karushi. That doesn't quite sound like a Japanese name to me, but maybe. Oni is demon, and I don't know what Karushi means, so it doesn't sound like something somebody would call somebody. So this one is charge. So let's bring that back. Job done. The real problem is, too, is that you could be halfway through a storyline series and well, let's just say how it really happened. I was all the way through one of the series and then got a content ID match on the end credits. So the end credits I'm a 100% through this game, and the most important, like, what are the two most important parts of a series? The very first episode and the very last episode. And so the very last episode's gonna be flagged and give me trouble, so I mean, it's just, that's ridiculous. Spend hours and hours of recording and every single episode's fine. Works fine. But that last episode's not gonna work. Oh boy, do I wish I could not play the YouTube content. If somehow I could just be immune to it. The content ID is just not a good system at all. YouTube should just straight up take it down. Literally take it down. Stop using it. Let the people, if they want to file copyright strikes and perjure themselves when they lie, fine. But the content ID has no legal, it just has no legal backing. So if they lie, they're perfectly fine. Nothing hurts them. YouTube can try and kick them out of the system, but they come back as some other fake identity. But the copyright strikes, the DMCA things, an actual person has to file it and handwritten it. It's illegal for them to use automated systems. Content ID is nothing but an automated system, which is hugely flawed.
Get down!
So if they just took it down and said, we're not going to use it, it's too much of a hassle. Or they put it to the background and they have somebody, YouTube maybe, look at somebody's channel if a lot of content IDs come up. And then when they look at a channel, if they see it's if there are channels out there that are just downright completely infringing and taking things that don't belong and putting them up, but they should use the content ID to kind of just as a red flag to that. And really, YouTube shouldn't even do that much. They should wait until the actual owner lifts a finger of their own and defends their own copyright. If they don't want to bother to defend their copyright, if it's not worth their time, if they're cool with it, then why should YouTube waste any manpower whatsoever to do it for them? This is really just the whole
for justice.
Music, video, movie industries, all of them just need to be put out of business. They're full of idiots, full of people who are just retarded. I don't have a single nice thing to say about the music industry or the movie industry, and most people would agree with me. It's just ridiculous. They don't need to exist. They're only making a huge amount of trouble for the rest of... They make trouble for actual creators, they make trouble for people who would enjoy and buy their products. They make an enemy out of every single person who isn't them. And I'm sure everybody knows somebody like that. It's just me against the world, and I don't know, some people might even say I am that. But Wind, Fury, Charge, Divine Shield, Anton, just one of each. Let's see, played this.
Reporting for duty.
I think I still probably have a chance here to win. All he has is this guy with Wind Fury. Now he's got 2 wolves. Got me down to 17. Let's see. If I do this.
Reporting for duty.
This.
To battle!
This. And this as well.
Job done.
So I'd hit my Murloc, the 6-2 Murloc with the spiders. I'm having a hard time seeing how I'd win this one. Bring this.
Reporting for duty. To battle!
Let's go ahead and hit this one.
Job done.
Actually, it's probably a waste to hit that one, because he's just going to get healed. He's got a full deck. How many cards has he got? 11 left? Maybe if I could convince him to draw 18 more cards, I'd win, but not likely to happen. I'm about to lose. I probably need to start, the thought just occurs to me, I probably need to start a legal defense fund right now for some stupid false copyright claim. So, if you want to donate to my legal defense fund, actual money towards that, let me know. But because it's only a matter of time, isn't it? That all of us, every single
Reporting for
YouTuber
duty.
gets sued by somebody. Unless they change the laws, which would be great. I wish they'd get rid of the copyright law altogether. It's been an amazing failure. Has not been helpful to society in decades. If you can prove any help whatsoever, just get rid of it all. Make it the burden of companies to keep their own secrets. If they can't keep something secret, then it goes into public knowledge. It's free speech. It gets repeated just like any other bit of free speech. No reason why the government should sit around and protect companies' investments or whatever they created 10 years ago. I'm looking at you, Disney. No reason why Mickey Mouse should still be copyrighted when the creator of Mickey Mouse and everybody who ever originally painted Mickey Mouse or drew Mickey Mouse are all dead. I mean, that's just ridiculousness. Creations of society. What if the Sistine Chapel? What if Leonardo's David or Michelangelo's inventions? What if the Bible? I mean, the Bible actually is copyrighted, some versions of it. What ridiculousness that is. What if every version of the Bible is copyrighted? Nobody could comment or reference any portion of it without lawyers suing you. And that's ridiculousness. I don't even really like the Bible, and I'm saying it's silly. Anyways, that's a really weird and stupid way to end an episode. But that's where I'm ending it. Another rant. I rant too much, but if it weren't for the rants, I'd have nothing to say at all. So sorry about that. As always, I ask that you like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps me out. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Google+, Battle.net to play Hearthstone here, or Steam, all that information is down in the notes. We are done. Thanks for watching and listening to my rants. Have a good evening.